So you're obviously modeling the behavior you want to see in Jess. But was there some point, say, or maybe multiple points, where Jess would come home and say something like, "Why don't we have this car? Or why can't I have this thing?" Did those conversations happen that you can think of?
So, first of all, we didn't set out to model a certain behavior for Jessica. It was just the way my wife and I lived. And of course, by definition, we were modeling that behavior. So that's what she grew up with. When she was in the second grade is when we moved to New Hampshire, and we moved to a fairly affluent town because of the school district. And we were probably every bit as affluent, maybe more so than most of our neighbors, but that's not the way we lived. And so I don't remember Jessica coming home and saying, why don't we drive a fancier car? Or why don't we have this, that, or the other thing? The only thing I really remember her pushing for was to get a car when she turned 16. And she campaigned for that for probably since starting when she was about 14. And I remember at one point she said, and I was not going to let her I was not going to buy her a car. And she said, well, Dad, all of my friends are getting cars. Given the town we lived in, I absolutely believe that. But my reaction was, great, you'll have no trouble getting rides. And, you know,
He was
so,
right.
but now the other thing I'll say too is that, and I don't know how this came to be, if it was modeling or something else, but my wife and I always loved to travel. And so we spent money pretty freely on traveling. And Jessica, if Jessica had come home and said something like, Dad, I just have to have designer clothes, that would not have happened. But when Jessica came home with opportunities for travel, some of which were fairly expensive, like with people to people or the experiment in international living, the answer to that spending was always yes. And I frequently thought, because what she wants to spend money on aligns with my values, because I think travel's a good thing to spend money on, I was more than happy to say yes to those things, even though looking back on it, it was probably more expensive than if she'd wanted the designer clothes. But I would have said no to those, even though, we could have afforded to buy her a car. But there was a principle involved, for better or worse.